Okay, now we'll talk about wiring a little bit. The first thing I do is I make my main power leads. Uh, Basically, I have 14 gauge connecting to 4 separate 18 gauge leads. And the reason for that is until you split them right here, this wire here is going to be taking the amperage of all 4 drivers at max current. So 14 gauge is the proper size to handle the amperage that this power supply puts out. What I do is I end up stripping a bunch off of the 14 gauge. And then I strip about that much off of each 18 gauge. And I stick it up through the 14 gauge so that it's intertwined. The fingers interlock the strands. And then I'll twist the 18 gauge and then wrap it around. And then I'll do the same thing with the next one, and I'll put the 4 leads on there. Okay? And then I use a very high temp soldering gun like this one here that can get up to temperature in seconds to completely solder together all the leads. So the big guy and the little one, or the little ones, the 4 little ones, are all soldered together. Not only intertwined and wrapped tight, but soldered. And you want the solder to flow through everything, so you need something like this that can get up to hot enough temps. I also use this little guy, these helping hands, to hold the wires while I solder. It makes it so much easier. Then, after it's soldered, I use 3 separate pieces in different sizes of shrink wrap. First, I think I start with a 1/4 inch piece. Then I do the next size up, and then I end up at 3/8 on the outside. But it's not just any 3/8. I use this stuff here. It's very thick. It reduces at a rate of 3 to 1. And it is glue lined. So I don't know if you can really see inside there, but there is actually glue on the inside of that the shrink wrap there. And this here, these guys will both go through this hole here, and right where I have the shrink wrap is where I ziplock it. There's a few holes here. I don't know if I can turn on the flash in the middle here, but there are holes right there for zip-locks. And I will zip tie, I should say. So I zip tie the power leads right there, right next to each other. Red and black. They both get zip tied there, and then I can run the leads to each one of these. I will flex the wires up through here, over and in, with as little extra as I can for each one. So I do one at a time, and that's the reason why I have such long leads, is I'll trim them after everything's zip tied. And then on the flip side, they just need to go to their correct place. And again, after it's zip tied, then you can get the right lengths, and you can cut this to size and screw it in there. I use these forks here on the power supply. I believe it's the 6 to 8 size forks, and that works perfectly for most of these power supplies.